Welcome to the Zombie Story Zone. Get ready to dive into thrilling tales of survival, horror, and unexpected twists as we bring you the most captivating zombie stories from around the world. If you're a fan of spine-chilling adventures, nail-biting suspense, and epic battles against the undead, you're in the right place. Before we jump into today's story, we'd love your support. Don't forget to hit the like button to show your love for zombie stories. Subscribe to our channel for your regular dose of undead action. Press the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. Share this video with your fellow zombie fans and spread the thrill. We're always eager to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what you think of today's story, and feel free to share your ideas on how we can improve our content. Your feedback helps us create even better stories for you. Now, let's dive into the world of chaos and survival where the living must outsmart the dead. Ready? Let's begin. The Zombie Story Zone starts now.
Every story's a thrill, come and let your courage show. Fight or flight, will unite as the horror unfolds in the zombie story.
The quiet hum of the universities. Campus life hung in the air like the calm before a storm. It was mid-semester, and the sprawling quad was teeming with students crisscrossing paths, backpacks flung over shoulders, and earbuds firmly in place. Most were too engrossed in their routines to notice the unusual stillness creeping in at the edges. Even the birds seemed to have vanished, their absence an unspoken omen. In the biology lab on the north side of campus, Jenna Carter sat hunched over her microscope. She was a senior majoring in microbiology and had been working tirelessly on her independent research project. The lab was nearly empty, save for her and her lab partner, Tyler Nguyen. The two had been tasked with examining a peculiar strain of bacteria sent from a research facility on the outskirts of town. Something about the sample was unsettling, a faint luminescence that pulsed irregularly, and a strange odor that lingered despite the sealed containers. "Tyler, this strain is weird," Jenna said, frowning as she adjusted the focus. "It's almost like it's alive in a way it shouldn't be." Tyler glanced up from his notebook. "Aren't all bacteria alive?" he quipped, but his grin faded when he saw her expression. "Okay, point taken. What do you think it is?" Before Jenna could answer, a sharp bang echoed through the lab. They both froze. The sound wasn't loud enough to be an explosion, but it carried an unnerving weight. Moments later, the fire alarm blared, its piercing wail slicing through the silence. "That's not a drill," Tyler muttered, grabbing his backpack. "We should get out of here." Jenna hesitated, her eyes flickering back to the glowing sample. Against her better judgment, she secured the container in a portable cooler and stuffed it into her bag. Just in case, she said, more to herself than Tyler. They stepped into the hallway, where chaos was unfolding. Students and staff were rushing toward the exits, panic evident on their faces. A professor stumbled past them, clutching his arm, which was drenched in blood. "What happened?" Jenna called out, but the man's wild eyes only widened as he muttered something unintelligible before staggering away. "This isn't normal," Tyler said, his voice tight. "Let's get to the quad. It'd be safer in the open." As they navigated the chaotic hallways, screams echoed from nearby classrooms. Jenna caught a glimpse through a shattered door, students cowering in the corner, as someone lunged at them. The attacker's movements were jerky, unnatural, and its face was contorted in a grotesque snarl. Blood smeared the walls, and Jenna's stomach churned as she realized this wasn't a simple act of violence. It was something far worse. They burst into the open air of the quad, joining a growing crowd of terrified students. Campus security officers were attempting to maintain order, but their efforts were futile against the mounting hysteria. Jenna and Tyler pushed through the throng, searching for familiar faces. They found a small group huddled near the fountain. Alex, a pre-med student with a knack for first aid. Sarah, a track star whose athleticism could be a lifesaver. And Mike, an engineering major who rarely went anywhere without his trusty multi-tool. "What's going on?" Jenna asked, her voice trembling. "No one knows," Alex replied, his face pale. "People are attacking each other. It's like they've gone rabid." "We need to get off campus," Sarah said, her tone urgent. "Staying here isn't safe." "The main roads are probably jammed," Mike pointed out. "Our best bet is to stick together and find somewhere to hole up until we figure out what's going on." Before anyone could respond, a blood-curdling scream cut through the air. The group turned to see a horde of figures pouring out of the science building. Their skin was pallid, their eyes glassy, and their mouths twisted into hungry grimaces. They moved with a terrifying speed, converging on the crowd like a wave of death. "Run!" Tyler shouted, and the group bolted toward the athletic complex, weaving through the panicked masses. The sprint felt endless, their lungs burning and legs threatening to give out. They reached the gymnasium and slammed the heavy doors shut, barricading them with equipment racks. The pounding on the other side began almost immediately, accompanied by guttural growls that sent shivers down their spines. "What the hell are those things?" Sarah panted, her hands on her knees. "Zombies," Mike said grimly. "Or something close enough. Did you see their eyes? Their movements? That's not normal." Jenna's mind raced. "It could be a pathogen," she said, her voice shaking. "Something that affects the brain, drives people into a frenzy. Like rabies, but worse." "You think it's connected to that bacteria you were studying?" Tyler asked. Jenna's stomach sank. "I don't know," she admitted, "but we can't rule it out." "Great," Alex muttered. "So what do we do now?" "We need supplies," Mike said. "Food, water, weapons. And we need a plan to get out of here." The group split into pairs to scavenge the gym for anything useful. Jenna and Tyler found a first aid kit and some protein bars in the locker room. Sarah and Alex unearthed a stash of baseball bats and hockey sticks in the equipment closet. Mike, ever resourceful, managed to rig a makeshift spear using a broom handle and a knife from the gym's cafeteria. As they regrouped, the pounding on the doors grew louder. The barricade wouldn't hold forever. Jenna's gaze drifted to the windows. "We could climb out and make our way to the library," she suggested. "It's close, and it's got solid doors and higher ground." The others agreed, and they moved quickly. Climbing out of a side window, they stuck close together, using the shadows for cover. The campus was unrecognizable, a battlefield littered with overturned benches, abandoned backpacks, and bloodstains. The groans of the infected echoed in the distance, a haunting reminder of the danger lurking around every corner. Reaching the library, they found it eerily deserted. They barricaded the doors and set about fortifying their new refuge. Jenna spread out her notes and the bacterial sample on a study table, determined to find answers. Alex tended to minor injuries while Sarah and Mike scouted the upper floors for additional defenses. Tyler stayed by Jenna's side, offering whatever help he could. Hours turned into an agonizing blur. Jenna's research yielded disturbing results. The bacteria exhibited parasitic tendencies capable of altering its host's behavior. It thrived in bodily fluids, spreading rapidly through bites and scratches. There was no known cure. "This isn't just an outbreak," she said, her voice hollow. "It's a full-blown epidemic. And if we don't stop it here, it'll spread beyond the campus." "How do we stop it?" Tyler asked. "Fire," Jenna replied grimly. "It's the only way to destroy the bacteria completely." The group devised a desperate plan. They would lure the infected into a central location and set it ablaze. It was risky, but it was their only hope. They decided on the student union, a large building with multiple entry points that could be sealed off once the infected were inside. Armed with their makeshift weapons and a hastily constructed Molotov cocktail, they set the plan in motion. Jenna and Sarah acted as bait, leading the horde toward the students. The infected moved like a ravenous tide, their grotesque snarls echoing through the air as Jenna and Sarah sprinted across the campus. Adrenaline coursed through their veins, drowning out the fear threatening to paralyze them. They reached the student union's main entrance, throwing open the double doors and waving wildly to catch the horde's attention. "Come on," Jenna shouted, her voice cracking with desperation. Right here, the infected surged forward, their relentless speed terrifying. Jenna and Sarah darted inside, slamming the doors shut behind them and securing them with heavy furniture as best they could. Tyler and Mike waited on the second floor, armed with Molotov cocktails and positioned near the stairwell. Alex stood by with the first aid kit, ready for the worst. "Are they in?" Tyler called down. "Almost," Jenna yelled. She and Sarah retreated further into the building, baiting the infected deeper inside. When the horde was fully within the Union, Mike gave the signal. Now, Tyler lit the first Molotov and hurled it down the stairwell, the bottle shattering and igniting into a fiery inferno. The flames spread quickly, engulfing the infected. Their guttural screams turned to agonized wails as the fire consumed them. Smoke billowed, thick and acrid, forcing the group to cover their mouths and noses with whatever they had. "Go," Mike shouted. "We've got to get out of here before we're trapped." The group scrambled up to the roof, where they had left an escape ladder leading down to the courtyard. One by one, they climbed down, coughing and gasping for air. The flames below roared, their heat intense even from a distance. As they reached the ground, the group stumbled back, watching the building burn. "Is it over?" Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Jenna shook her head, her expression grim. "It's contained, but it's not over." If even one of those things made it out, or if someone outside campus is already infected. Her words hung heavy in the air. The group stood in silence, the crackling of flames the only sound as the reality of their situation sank in. "We need to alert the authorities," Sarah said. "They have to quarantine the campus. And what if they don't believe us?" Tyler asked, "What if it's already too late?" Jenna clenched her fists. "Then we make them believe." "We have evidence," she gestured to the portable cooler strapped to her back, where the bacterial sample was stored. "This can prove what's happening." Mike nodded. "We'll need to move fast. The fire will draw attention, but it'll also bring more danger." The group gathered their remaining supplies and began their trek toward the edge of campus, sticking to the shadows and avoiding any lingering infected. As dawn broke on the horizon, they reached the main gates. The city sprawled out before them. Jenna glanced back at the smoldering campus, her chest tight with a mix of sorrow and determination. "This isn't the end," she said, "but it's a start." With that, they stepped into the unknown, ready to fight for survival and for a chance to save the world from the nightmare that had begun on their campus.
Looking everywhere, that's how the story goes. Grab your gear, hold on tight. It's a wild ride ahead in the zombie story zone where the